Hey, it's Mark here again at Fine Woodworking, and we're back at it with the cradle rocker. And now we're getting set to attach the legs, or the lower left legs. This is the back one. I'm making sure it's fitting nice. It is a tight fit, but you want it tight, but you also want to make sure that it's going to go down and seat properly. So I had to work on that for a while. I'm using some glue. I think that's Type On 2. PVA glue works great. And just glue it up and we'll see how she goes. All right, here we go. This is the scary part, point of no return. Once you start doing this, you can't back out. Yeah, you just gotta hammer that down, make sure it seats. Like I said, I'll say this again over and over. There's gonna be gaps, and there were gaps in here, and you just fill them and move on. And you try to do better the next time. But yeah, it went in well, seated, and was ready for. I was pretty pleased with it. It's an exciting part because you're seeing the parts that you're making come start to be assembled and come together. Here I'm cutting the extra top off. All I had was my Dazuki saw. I really like Japanese saws, but most of them are still in Costa Rica, and so I really need to pick up a Ryobi saw, a double-edged one that or a flush cut. But yeah, came off and just had to do a little sanding there. But that was it. Okay, now here, if you remember, on the spindle slots 16 and 17, they blended into that leg, so I had to put the template back on and route those over. And yep, there I am eating some more chips. It's a funny story. When I was in Costa Rica, I was a missionary working in a church, and I had the senior saints, the elderly group, up to my house. And the men were all in my garage looking at a project I was working on. And I was in the hand tools then, so I had plain down dimensions, some wood. And the wood was called cahuilla. It's kind of like mahogany. And the men were asking me, what kind of wood is this? And I said, I think it's cahuilla. And one of the men in the group, Guillermo, picks up a shaving, pops it in his mouth, starts munching on it. He goes, yep, that's cahuilla. So you can tell the wood by the taste of the chips. Yeah. But I'm glad that routing's over with. All right. Now I'm going to flip it over and get set to put in that front lower left leg. All right, here I'm getting the front lower left leg in. Wanted to do one last test fit and then check the front because the spindle slot and the mortise run into each other, so you have to chisel out a little of that leg, its tenon, in order for that spindle to fit in. Make sure it clears. So here I decided to try to use the Gorilla Glue because I wanted to make sure that front leg really was held in tight. It was a little loose, big old butt. First time ever using the Gorilla Glue, and yeah, it held, but oh my word, was that a mess. It foamed out, and it's a lot of cleanup, but eventually got looking good. Yep, so I'll be using that Gorilla Glue on the cradle rail when we get to that. pray for me as we approach that task. I'm really scared about that one. Just checking to make sure it's relatively square on those flat portions. Yeah, looks good. All right, there it is. The right side legs, they're just sitting in their slots. They're not screwed in or attached yet, but starting to look like a chair finally. Okay, hey, it's Mark from Heineck Fine Woodworking, and thought I'd try something different. Maybe we're going to try to talk over during the video instead of voiceover, not giving anything. But yeah, we're at the point now where, and hey, let me know what you like. If you like this, or if you like the voiceover, or don't want to hear anything from me, that's fine with me. We're at the point I've got the back, that's the back and front, left lower legs in. And, now we got to shape them down to there. And this is quite unique and different from a regular Maloof rocker. So I'll probably do a follow-up video after this is all done, just from some observations that I made and the difference, and some things that I might have wanted to see different. And if I go forward to build more of these, I'll definitely implement them. But yeah, until we get there, I'll deal with that. But so we're going to try to shape these to make them look decent. When you're routing these, I notice, just get ready. You're going to have gaps. And you can fill those gaps easily enough with, I think, with my dust collector vacuum. I got plenty of cherry sawdust here. You mix that with some glue and it works fine. But all right, so we're gonna try to shape these two. I want to get them shaped, and then I want to try to get this upper back leg fitted before I start doing the spindles. And I'll try to explain as we go along with that how we're doing that. But yeah, let's get to it. I want to go over a few things with the burrs, but let me get this plugged in first. All right, there's the foot pedal. I tell you what, that I like the rotary. I guess this is flex shaft grinder. I do enjoy these, but trying to get used to this foot pedal, I'm either going full bore or I'm not going at all. All right, I don't know if you saw in that one last video when I was shaping this section down. I use these. These are my Cutso burrs. I love these things. They are not paying me. They don't even know I exist. But that's on my shaper disc that you saw that I shaped the seat and the cradle portion. But they also make burrs. These are the 1/4 inch shaft. These things will bite your fingers. This is coarse. That's what, a 1/2 inch to 1 inch. I got those. I was using this bull nose one on the back of this. I think I'm going to go with some smaller ones on these. These are the 1/8 inch. This is coarse. And work on shaving these down. Just take my time because those big ones are going to eat down there and I don't want to hit this and go whoops. And then we also have, I wonder if these are open there. These are the 1/8 inch, but they're the fine ones that I was using on the carved out cradle portion. So, but yeah, that almost tripped over my foot pedal there. All right. Yeah, this thing isn't too bad. I got it off Amazon for about $100. I'm more about, I do sell my furniture and I'm thankful that I can. But my shop is it's 12 feet by 16 feet and it fits me. And that's it. And that's the way I like it. I don't want anyone else in here with me, except you guys. All right, yeah, we can try this. I'll see if I can get you to see this. But yeah, you know, I sell my furniture. I'm not trying to make a living by building furniture right now because I do have a full-time job as a deputy, and I enjoy it. But as a hobby, and hopefully when I get to retire, I'll just be able to keep doing this. But I'm not one to fill a big shop. I don't want to be a big production shop. And I just want to be able to build what I want to build. So if someone comes, hey, can you build this? I'll tell my friends, you know, put the word of mouth out, I guess. Mouth of word. Oh my word, I can't get that. But get the word out. That's what I'm trying to say. If you could get the word out, word of mouth, you know, and then when people come, hey, can you build me this? I'll look at it and be like, if I don't want to build it, like, yeah, no, I can't build that. Just go somewhere else. And so I get to choose what I want to build. Yeah, you see that thing? All right, let's see what we can do here. So what I want to do is get it to the point down here where it curves out to the flat. It just doesn't go straight down to the joint there. You want that nice curve to look like a tree is growing out of it. So, and that was the issue I have with some of these, because on this side and this side, the the blank was just flat, so I can't do that. And it just presented a different situation I never ran into before with this. So, you know, I'll learn some stuff. Might be able to try some different things with regards to this so I can get that scooped look. But right now, it's a good learning experience. Once I get this close, then I'll break out the rasps. I really prefer to use those because they're not moving as fast and have a little more control over them. Ooh. All right, let's get this other one. think I might be able to get a small swoop on this end. We'll see. Ah, woo, yeah. Oh yeah, okay. I think we got her. Now it's time for the rasps. Yeah, that's pretty fun. All right. Whoo, yeah, that was fun. Needed a mask on that. All right, this is going to be a little too rough on here, but that's what sanding's for. Yeah, this is my hand stitch rasp made by Leo Gere. I forget his first name. But they literally just cut each one of these teeth by hand all over this and then hardened it. Oh, for crying out loud, where'd my tape measure go? All right, what is this one? This is like, what's a 12-inch? This thing's a hogger. This was a kit. It's like the beginner's kit. I got all 3 for a price. This is a small modeler's one. I can't believe they actually hand-stitched all these too. This one will come in handy. Yeah, there we go. I love this. And you want to create that swoop at the bottom where the legs hit the joints to make it look like a tree coming out. And then they got the round, I think they call this a rat tail. But it's gonna take some time, but you just take your time, you know, and you enjoy the journey here. All right, let's see if we can get one corner down, you know, give us a sense of satisfaction here. So I think it was, on this one I used PVA glue, and this one, when we get to the cradle rail, oh my word, I'm praying about that one. He lays out the strips, you'll see it, I'm going on a rabbit trail here, but he lays out the strips and sprays them with water and then puts the glue on. Well, with PVA glue, it would just weaken it, but he uses original Gorilla Glue, and I saw him doing that. And he's like, yeah, that holds great. And I thought, well, maybe, let me try it on this. Oh my word, that stuff just foamed out. And it expands and stuff. And so I had quite a mess here on my hands. But this one, it was a little loose, but that thing's not moving. That is rock solid with that glue. So yeah, I mean, if you don't mind cleaning up the mess, you know, it's a pretty good glue. Strong as a gorilla, I guess. Of course, I never wrestled a gorilla, so I wouldn't know what a gorilla's like, how strong they are. I know they're stronger than me, that's for sure. Oh, yeah. Now, let me get the hog here. Oh, yeah. There we go. That's like cutting a big chunk of steak out. Oh, I love this rasp. Okay, don't want to hog out the bottom of the... I want to get see if I can get another one of these, but with a coarser stitch to it. That might help with a little quicker on the removal, but yeah. All right. Well, I'm not going to make a video of this because it's going to take a while. Seeing me start out, I'll get back to it. I'll get you back when we're nearing the end of this, and so you can see the process. But just take your time. and whittle away and enjoy the time. Put on some tunes and enjoy the journey. All right, that's about the most curve I'm gonna get on that side of this leg. Yeah, it's looking pretty good, but yeah, once you can no longer feel it above there, now you're gonna get some scratches. That's inevitable, and you'll sand those out. It might actually, right on this point here, it might dip in a little, but that's your goal, is to get that transitioned to that point. And just watch your points. If it's out here, you may be thinking about it, and this thing may be dipped in and scratching. So just keep an eye on those points of your rasps as you try to pinch it with my finger. He does make a rasp with two handles, but I just think it would be in the way. I think Tom Fidgen, he was the unplugged worker up in Canada. Really inspired me to do some unplugged work, but he helped develop that. But just, you can't see me, you just see my hands and stuff here, but I'm hovering over the leg looking down, trying to get a bird's eye view of this, keeping an eye on it. And it just slowly but surely, you know. I think maybe we'll do some hogging here, huh? Yeah. That makes quick work of it. Yeah. Can also do some quick damage with this thing too, if you're not careful. Just bring that swoop down, keep working it down to that point. Yeah. And eventually it gets there. And before you know it, the fun part's over with. See, with that angled point there, you can tip up the handle. Because if I do this, that handle's gonna push it off the floor that much, and I can't get down there, so I want to tip it up. There we go in the corner. Ooh. It's gonna be some sanding on this after we get done. Everyone loves sanding. Once you get close, yep, you gotta go off the bottom there. Yeah, that's reached its pinnacle. I just gotta make it look pretty. Especially this part right here on the corner. And you get that right, it, like I said, it looks like a tree growing out of here once this is all sanded and blended. This looks beautiful. Yeah, that's not too bad. Oh boy. This one's gonna be fun. You want to go obviously down and spinning, but you also want to go up from the base into the piece to get a gentle transition. Like I said, it'll create scratches, but you know, you're just gonna have to keep sanding until you got this thing nicely transitioned into a fine sculpted piece of art. Ah, yeah. Yeah. Woo, all right, well, there's the other leg. Took me maybe 25 minutes. Thought it was gonna take an hour. Of course, you know, hey, I'm back. Of course, it was instant for you on Magic of Video Editing, but yeah, rough shaping. Oh, excuse me. 20 minutes. Hey, must be getting good at this or something. All right. Now it's on the sanding. I think I'm going to take a break from that. I think I want to fit this back leg. Make sure that goes in well. It's like this one, man, those were a beast. Getting that fit in and making sure it was going to be tight. But I wanted to make sure it was going in enough so once I hammered it down, it would go all the way. So, yeah, but that thing's not going anywhere, and neither is this one. I don't know. I'm gonna do. I talked about this in another video on. It's cantered back. On how to attach the rockers. I don't know if I got a video. I think I missed it on putting drilling the dowels in here, but it's square. Use a doweling jig, and I'm using 1/2 inch. Pretty sure that's 1/2 inch. Pretty sure that's 1/2 inch. Yeah, 1/2 inch dowels. They'll drill this hole and put a dowel in here and a dowel in here. And they're like this. So it's not gonna go on. So what you do is you get this one on, and then you do this and you bend and pop it in. And I was watching Scott Morrison on his just his rocker video. And he's like, "No, don't worry, it's not gonna break, but yeah, I don't know about this leg here." But on Charles Brock, he won't do it. He'll put the dowel there and put this one here and drill through the rocker and put a full dowel in down here and through the rocker and then just shave it off. And that's what I've done, and I've used to it, but you'll see that when we get to it. But all right, let's move on to fitting this back leg. And then we're gonna move on to getting all these spindles. You want to route the front end and fit them in, make sure they're looking good, and then start shaping them. Yeah. All right.